So I've been self-experimenting with hydrogen water for the last month, and the last week I've been pretty much exclusively drinking that, especially in terms of just liquid intake. I haven't been drinking any other water, soft drinks, anything like that. So I get more and more convinced there is something to it. This is just n=1, but it does seem to me that there is something. But I'm kind of constantly self-experimenting with a number of different practices or molecules or what have you. So it's hard to kind of dissect them all. Yeah, I think there's something to it. I can't put my finger on it. There's been many things I tried. I get nothing from this. They could be supplements, whatever. Whereas this, I think I would keep trying until I get some kind of resolute. I'll do some self-experimentation later. I think I'll go for a bit longer, whereby having none of it. So I'll stop it for a week or two, see if I notice anything. I think with all these things, whether it's vitamin C or a mineral or a breathing technique or anything where you're trying to do it to, in some sense, optimize something about your well-being, in anything like that, there are two fundamental facts, or one fundamental fact and one important practice. The fundamental fact is that what might work for one human might have the opposite effects for another human, and I've seen this time and time again in my many decades now. I've been interested in this stuff long before the internet. It is, and that means it is, and this is kind of what comes from that, is that if you want to see if something is good for you, the only way you can do that is to try it. And some things I take because I definitely think they feel good for me, and some things I take because the science seems to suggest that it is good for you. So vitamin D I take, and I've done lots of trial and error with it, and I've never thought, oh, I need some vitamin D now. Whereas, Walker cow powder, I feel, oh, there's something in that my body is telling me via these ancient evolutionary mechanisms it needs to have, or it would like to optimize its own systems. And so you have to experiment with these things. And that means there is no one pill to save them all, etc. So you have to experiment with these things, and that means that you have to make essentially cost decisions. Unless you're that guy, Brian, I'm forgetting his second name, who does like 1 million pills a day to kind of try and optimize his well-being. Unless you can afford that, and the time it takes, the kind of mind focus, the just general preparation time he has. He pays people to distribute his vitamins and minerals. I would love that. That'd be pretty awesome. I'd rather a robot did it probably. But anyway, so what that means is you have to make these decisions, and you have to think, how much will this cost to try? You have to make decisions about safety as well. That's obviously really important. There's things I won't take because I'm very skeptical of the safety, and there's things I take like iodine or methylene blue, where if most doctors would say that was nuts to do that. So you have to experiment, and these are things where I know that it is beneficial to me, or at least it feels beneficial to me. It might be causing all kinds of things down the line, but I genuinely, and hopefully without confirmation bias, don't think that. The science doesn't really support that either. So I think once you get over 40, it's so worth investing time and intelligence, as in your own research, into this, and experimentation. That kind of, I suppose that's part of time and intelligence. So yeah, if you don't supplement, if you don't try and fill in the gaps and try and max the minimums of your body's biological systems, especially as they're aging. That's what I'm saying about 40 plus. I think that's the kind of cut-off point for it being able to make a difference. I think that maybe I just think there's better things to do when you're under 40. But I've been doing this stuff for many decades. When I was 18, I was I did a travel thing, as many more people did back then, and I was in Venice Beach, California, and this old hippie guy, I can see him now in my mind's eye. I can't remember if he sold me both, but basically I came back from this year abroad with a bottle of melatonin and a bottle of spirulina. One of them I still take when I can. The other I would love to take. I think it's probably really good for you, but it just tastes so horrible. Moving on. So yeah, so that's what, nearly 30 years plus, 35 years that I've been experimenting with this. On the very same trip, actually, I remember sitting in the airplane reading the in-flight magazine, and there was this thing about a B vitamin, I cannot remember what it was, a B vitamin that increased blood oxygen retention by, I think it was 20%. And I remember just thinking, wow, that means that it makes you 20% fitter just by taking a pill. And I think B vitamins are essential for exercise and that kind of, and energy, but I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, that I was into technology at the time, and this idea of tweaking systems, even in a kind of Amiga ZX81y kind of sense, was very much a part of what I was into, what interested me. And the thought that you could do that with just taking molecules, I found exciting then, and I still do now.